Journal entries, Chapter 4, from a survivor named Jukebox.
It is Christmas Eve. I don't know why, but today has been hard. I'm not sure what I was expecting. Door-to-door Christmas carolers? No. This is our world now. Not sure how everyone is doing back home. Probably not much better than Chernarus is if any of the reports before I left were true. This war was beginning to reach far. Something was going on in Montana, from what I remember hearing. I hope people back home are alright. I wish I wasn't stuck here. Man, why couldn't it at least have snowed? Maybe I'll ring up Willie on the PDA and see if he wants to have a Christmas dinner. Met up with Willie at the mall. Isaiah was with him. Seems like we're all just looking for a little company today. We sat around and shared stories for a while, trading food and gear with each other, having a little Christmas get-together. It was nice. Pretty tame, but it was good to have friends around. Dusty managed to show up too. I was tripping. What are the odds that the first 4 allies I made here are all here right now? Just then, Party Rock Anthem begins blaring from seemingly nowhere. Sitting behind us on a bench was the source of the music. It was a survivor fully dressed as Santa Claus, playing tunes on a boombox. Our jaws hung open. We were completely taken off guard. There was no one there, and now here is this man in full red, and none of us saw him. He could have killed us easily. He was even sporting a white beard. After hanging out with Santa for a little bit, we all agreed he's a cool guy. He's pretty dedicated to the whole Santa Claus thing, but it is the holiday. I've seen way crazier things in my time here, and honestly, I love it, man. I need some Christmas cheer. It's nice to see a survivor out there spreading cheer rather than bullets for once. Plus, this guy was loaded with treats. It looked like the real party was about to start. The red-clad man even had gifts for everyone. We couldn't believe it. I laughed and asked what happened to his reindeer as a joke. His mood shifted, and the entire camp seemed to get darker. I wasn't sure if it was the suspicious blue candy we were being fed or what, but it was as if the light and warmth was sucked away from the fire. That's when I began to question who this person actually was. His eyes looked hollow, and was he always that pale? At this point, he had been staring out in the field for a few minutes, not seeming to notice us all watching him. He began to speak. The man described a tragic accident in which he and his reindeer crashed in a large storm that was sweeping over the continent. The reindeer all survived and escaped, he said. Well, that's good. The fact that they all lived, we all seemed to agree. He sighed and shook his head.
These lands changed them. You must be careful. I do not have control of them anymore.
We shared a toast to Santa's fallen reindeer. The festivities continued. I stepped away for a moment to observe the scene. It was definitely a sight. Maybe it was a Christmas miracle, because in the distance, I heard a telling sound of another aircraft falling to the ground. Seems the air defense system really works. I didn't say much. I whistled for Rock as I grabbed my rifle, and we quietly left the campsite toward the crash. I had been looking for NVGs at this point for some time, and wasn't going to let this opportunity slip. Hopefully the fire was still warm when we returned. We sprinted through the December night. It was freezing, but dry. Luckily, the skies were clear enough for the moon to shine through the canopy of pines, lighting my way. I could just barely see the smoke ahead when Rock's ears started back, signaling to me that we were no longer alone. I heard footsteps behind me and turned ready to shoot. It was Dusty. He had seen me leave camp in a hurry and wanted to make sure I wasn't alone out here. He's a good ally. I'm glad he's watching my back. 2 of us and our dogs continued through the woods. We approached the crash site and dispatched the freshly reanimated crew. We had done this dozens of times. This was just another walk in the park. Just as we went for the spoils, a screech erupted from the tree line. We could barely see them, they were so fast. The first instinct, always, is to get to higher ground. But out here in this field, there was nothing. No cover or anything. We were sitting ducks. We trained our rifles towards the wood line, waited until we saw the source of the noise. When we finally saw it, the creature had already covered half the distance across the field. Rock went straight for the creature, while the two of us began laying down fire and moving toward a shed at the far end of the field. We could not outrun it, but our companions were giving us the valuable time we needed to get the firing position. They fought bravely for us. I was not quick enough today, though. Rock caught an antler under the rib, did everything I could, but didn't make it. Big guy fought like a monster. Rest in peace, buddy. Needless to say, Rudolph had a very bad day. Santa had warned us to watch out for Dancer, too. How many reindeer are there supposed to be anyways? It was going to be a long trip home.